Hello and welcome. Gosh, I've just got back home from a bit of a online exercise, but I'm here, I'm live, and welcome to today's live stream. So bear with me whilst I have my well-deserved lolly after exercising. But it's great to have you here, and thank you ever so much. If you do have any questions at all, feel free to comment, put your questions or comments in the comment box, and let me know where you're tuning in from and what sort of queries or questions or experiences you wish to share with everybody, because I'll be happy to discuss and answer any queries that you may have. But one moment. Whilst I'm here, let's sort out our camera. That's a bit better. Okay, so if there are any questions about online English teaching, face-to-face teaching, the CELTA course, please let me know, because I'll be happy to answer those sort of questions. And whilst we're here, we have Latifa Hussein. So, Latifa Hussein, thank you ever so much. Latifa from Maldives. Well, welcome to a very nice UK afternoon. I've just joined today after, what was it, almost an hour and a half, 2 hours of quite intense walk-in. So I've just got back, hence the lolly and the rather disheveled look that I have at the moment. But any questions that you may have about online teaching, education, face-to-face teaching, the CELTA course, English language, feel free to comment. I'll be happy to respond. So Latifa here. She says she has one question about writing. Well, very curious what your question is. And it'd be really nice to see what sort of queries you have, because I've been doing a lot of assessment with writing, with a particular course that I'm involved with at the moment. And in the meantime, we have Samira Fatima. So, hello, Samira. Right, so Latifa's starting. She says, I always find it challenging when teaching writing. Okay. Well, I'm assuming the question will come in a moment, but I guess for everyone, when it comes down to teaching writing, it's not the same as speaking. Within the context of writing in English or any second language that you're trying to acquire. One moment. So any writing that you're involved with, you're always going to be assessing the English based on the vocabulary that's used, the grammar, the punctuation, and all these things. So it's quite an intensive skill and production that's required. And even more so with the grammar. The grammar, you have to be pretty spot on when it comes down to grammar within writing. Within speaking and the fluency of speaking, then it's kind of, you get a bit more flexibility that way. All right, so some of my students hardly read. Some of my students hardly read. And they hardly have relevant vocabulary and content. What should I do with these sets of students? A really interesting question. I really like it. Well, I'm a firm believer that reading for pleasure is a great opportunity for students and others that are curious about a language. And reading for pleasure in a second language and that sort of thing can be quite empowering. If you're already interested in a particular topic and you say, for example, music or music production. I say music production, and I used to buy music magazines many, many years ago when I was first getting into computers and technology and how music was being incorporated with computers. It was very much in the late 90s, early 2000s. And so I would read these sort of magazines. I was really curious. Now, if I was interested in the same thing, you know, and I was going to be learning a second language, then I would have more interested in reading about that sort of topic in a second language, and I'll be learning the vocabulary a lot easier than maybe something a bit more dry, like Charles Dickens or some other great authors from around the world. So, trying to choose the text um, which your students are interested in is one key. Um, so, if students are interested in computer games, for example, then choose a text about computer games. If students are interested in sports, then choose a text about sports. Choosing a topic which is relevant or engaging for students is one process. And you shouldn't really bore them at all when it comes down to reading. So it's really important. And I suppose with the internet nowadays, more so nowadays, you can find a lot of authentic text on various different topics that may be more suitable for your students than maybe a course book or a graded reader. And graded readers, again, are a great opportunity for um, students to read uh, literature. So graded readers, so readers which have been graded for a level, so let's say an intermediate level, but it follows a classic story of maybe Beauty and the Beast or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or something like that. If you're able to find something which is at the level or for the right topic, then you're going to get more interest in that way. Um, and then I suppose if you wanted to incorporate writing as part of it, I remember a project I did a couple of years ago with students that were part of a intensive English program, and for 8 weeks they had to read a graded reader, a novel that they were really interested in, and they had to present at the end of it and write a response about or a review on the book that they read, their literature. And I think that's more practical, and you can get students involved in that sort of thing. And so there's some production at the end of it. So they read their novel, they're responding to it, they're engaging with it, they're producing a presentation, they're writing a book review about it. And they're sharing it with their other students, and you can build it up and up and up over a number of weeks. So by week 4, introduce the characters, any new vocabulary that you learned from that reading, and then by week 8 you got a presentation, and then by week 10 provide your book review about that novel that you read. And I think that's a lot more productive than just reading. It's what you can do with the reading, and how you can exploit the reading in the classroom, I guess. So, yeah. Hmm. Right. We've got Samira here. Really interesting question. So, Samira, thank you ever so much for your question, and apologies whilst I have my lolly, because I've just got back from a bit of a sort of a hike. So the question is, can the CELTA really open doors for non-native speakers? Quite a good question. I like it. Very, very good question. Um, well, I think so. I don't think it. I think it's a great opportunity for anyone, regardless of their first language, if they're passionate about teaching English. Um, so For example, when I did my CELTA course back in 2007, oh gosh, oh, many years ago, 14 years ago or so, 14 and a half years ago, um, quite a few of the quite a few of those that were on the CELTA course, the trainees were what we would call or classify as non-native speakers, or speakers of English whose first language wasn't you know English, or English was their second language. Um, and for them, they picked up the practical skills of teaching English within um, a classroom environment. I think it was 110, 120 hours of practical teaching experience. So observing professional teachers, but also observing each other, providing critical feedback, supporting each other in a way which helped each other. And there was no sort of criteria, or natives are better than non-natives, or non-natives are better than natives, or that sort of thing. Everybody was equal, and I think that's the way it should be. And for those um, teachers that completed the CELTA, who were non-native teachers, they were able to get involved into examining work and teaching English in English, rather than the old traditional approach of teaching English in Korean, as many of the English teachers from Korea pursued, and focused on communication and meaning and fluency. And a lot of the non-native teachers were at a better advantage. They were much more advantaged than me. For example, I had to learn my English grammar. I still have books around about English grammar and vocabulary and things, and we're not taught about English grammar in the UK education system, whereas in Korea that they teach students about the English grammar. And so these non-native speakers, those people that were doing the course from Korea. Oh my gosh, leaking. Mm-mm-mm. So these teachers whose first language was Korean, they're English teachers, and they're trying to focus on their own course. They were able to do a lot better because they knew the grammar, they knew the construction, they were able to analyze the language much better than I was. And I was at a disadvantage. So I think, it does open up opportunities for those that are non-natives, or teachers whose first language is um, you know something other than English in that regard. But anyway, hmm, apologies. Just got back from quite a intensive hike, but and I need the energy to keep going. So I hope that answers your question, Samira, and very good question. I really like it. Right. We had Latifa here saying, could you provide a sample of a graded reader? Yes, I could. I do have a couple of graded readers at home that I was given to review, but I don't know where they are. They're in my bookcases somewhere. But let me have a look. I'll have a look online, because all the main publishers, all the key publishers publish a few graded readers. And we got another question from Catherine here, who says, where do you get your graded readers from? And, I'll give you a sample. So great question, Latifa. And where do you get them from? Well, let me have a look. So if you give me one moment, I'm going to Google. um, and whilst I'm Googling, we had Samira here saying, "How much did you get that lolly for?" I got it for a cup. Well, that one I got a pack of four, I think, for a couple of quid, and I just need the energy to keep going. Right, so one moment. Ooh, right. I think I'm getting there. Um, just waiting for a website to load up, and hopefully we'll be able to get a sample of a graded reader, or where I can get them. Um, I suppose for graded readers, you've got either fiction and non-fiction. So there's two types of graded readers. Particularly for those that are involved with international schools. So let me share my screen one moment. And so here we have, let me open it up a little bit more and hopefully you can see it a bit better. So here we've got the different graded readers. So my main port of call is Cambridge University Press. You just type in Cambridge graded readers and it comes up with the catalogue here. Now, we have a couple. We have things which are, non-fiction, like Why Does Water Freeze? We've got Cambridge Experience Readers, A1 to C2, and we've got Cambridge English Readers, 10 long years. Can't really see many, but bear with me. I'm going to have a look furthermore. Maybe Oxford University Press might have a few. So it's either CUP or OUP, and they're the two ones that I tend to look at. So let's have a look at OUP here. So Oxford University Press, English language teaching. And we've got a variety of different things. So reading club, choosing the right readers, explore our readers, and that sort of thing. And I think it is, you've got the Oxford Bookworms Library. Let's have a look at this. And give it a moment to load up and we'll see. So what we got? We got a variety of things. We've got different levels. So, you've got variety. So starter level, so starting up. So you can see here, okay, if it's level 2, which I guess starter to level 6, starter being, beginner, level 1 being elementary, level 2 being maybe pre-intermediate, etc., up to level 6 being advanced or proficiency. So choosing particular level would make sense. And let's have a look inside. So let's click look inside. And I'm going to zoom in slightly so you can see this. And we've got The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. So the original book is very good, written in a very stylistic way, which is not your typical English. But The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, and we've got it written in a way which is accessible for students. And you can see the sort of text, you've got the pictures to combine it, and it's fascinating, really interesting, and it keeps going and going and going. So very useful. Now, if we look at teaching resources, we've got Oxford Bookworms, we've got Introductions to Bookworms Library, downloadable level tests, downloads, get your reading worksheets, So let's have a look at the worksheets. You have to log in. Oh, you got to register. Let's have a look at the. You got to register. Well. So there's variety there. And of course, Les Mis, Les Miserables, and that sort of thing. So looking at graded readers on the OUP website, there's a lot more than maybe the Cambridge University website. But let me share the link, and then you can have a look yourselves, and hopefully that will give you a bit more on where to get graded readers from. And I'm hoping that they're accessible or digital. It would be great to have it on digitalized, that sort of thing. So source for OUP, and there's the link. Whew. There we go. I've put the link in, and it just comes up automatically with Facebook and YouTube. But unfortunately for LinkedIn, I'll have to put it in after today's live stream. It doesn't automatically go into the particular live stream. But anyway, there we are. Who else have we got? We got Mohammed Amar. Hello and welcome. And we've got Alexandra. Hi, my first video was one from Preply, and nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well, Alexandra. Welcome. Apologies, I'm still trying to gain my energy after my rather exertion of hiking the past few hours. Anyway, if anyone does have any questions about English teaching, education, the CELTA course, we had a question about the CELTA course from Samira, which was great. We had a question from Latifa. It was great to have that. And I'm from South America, and your videos are inspiring for new teachers as me. Well, it's a lovely to hear that you find my videos useful. So thank you ever so much. It's great to help other teachers out when it comes down to online teaching through the Preply platform. There's pros and cons to Preply itself, but it's great that we're able to help each other out when it comes down to online teaching. Yeah. Thanks for the link. Do you ever look at novels and choose passages to look at with students? Yes, I do. I'm an avid reader. I love reading. I just need to move my camera around, and you can see the books that I have here. For example, there's a bookshelf on my left, way over there. Sorry, my camera's all over the place now. So yes, I'm a keen book reader, and I do like to incorporate some forms of novels or short stories for students to look at and to get inspired. It'd be really interesting. I've not really tried it for a while, but poetry. I'd love to try and get students to write poetry in a second language. I find poetry fascinating. I never really was fond of poetry at an early age, but I've got a variety of different books on poetry. I'm just looking around for the books on poetry. But yeah, I've got like 19th century poetry and that sort of thing, and it's really nice to read. I feel greater connection to poetry now in my 40s than I did in my teenage years, and trying to give that access to students is great. So yeah, I try and choose passages for students to look at, get them to explore, and also for students to create their own stories. And I've got some dice, some story generators, and stories. I really like to get stories in the classroom and get students creating their own stories. And stories are very simple. It's a very simple structure. It comes from, bear with me, let's straighten this up. That's a bit better. It's very simple. It's it's a three-part story. You've got a beginning where you introduce the characters. You've got a middle where there's a sort of a challenge, a struggle, and then you've got a resolution. It's that simple. That's what the main aspects of stories are. So I do find stories a fascinating um, thing to include. And I did mention about story dice. So I'm going to grab them. They're in my bookshelf there. I can see them here, and I'm going to show you what these dice are and how you could use them in the classroom. I think I did create a video a number of years ago about story dice, but let me go and grab them. One moment. Right. So, yeah, these story dice, fantastic. I bought about 4 of these on Amazon. I bought these on Amazon. These are a great little dice. Come on, get into focus. Yeah, these are great dice. You have 9, and it's very simple. It's really, really simple. All you have to do is you take 9 dice. So as you can see here, my 9 dice. Come on, get into focus. There we are. Not sure, camera's not really focusing, but you have 9 dice. And then there's pictures on the dice. And for example, this dice here, if it wants to focus in, come on. Yeah, almost. So like mountains and a ravine and a river and what have you, and a moon or sun. So you've got one picture, and then you've got another picture of, for example, a map, and X marks the spot if it really wants to get in focus. I don't know this, but anyway, you have 9 pictures to use. And then what I did was I made a worksheet on I created a lesson plan based on these dice, and then I get students to work in small groups and try and create a story based on the pictures. So, and then they present their story or write their story. And we did talk about writing earlier on, and this is one way to get writing in the classroom. It's a really, really interesting way. So I would recommend these story dice. And there's so many. There's, for example, voyages. So as you can see here, the dice were about voyages or going on a journey, which is a great opportunity to create some great stories. There's action cubes, so I hope it doesn't drop. Otherwise, it's going to make a bit of a noise, but come on. There we go. So you can see the different actions. Come on. So look in, rob in, draw in, throw in, collect in, dig in. So they're great. You can either use them for verbs, you can use them for voyages, and there's 2 more that I've got which are great as well. And let me have a look for the post that I wrote on my blog, on my website. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to share this with you. So let me open up my website. So here's my website. So one moment, let me just hide the comment. Sorry, Catherine. And if you've not been on my website, please visit. So here you can see 10 teaching ideas with story cubes. Um, and if you go down, play is directed, and there's a sort of a video on how to play with the story dice. Use one cube. So rather than just using all 9 cubes, use all the pictures on one cube. Review grammar focus. You can your sort of presentation topic. So you roll all dice, pick up one, and it's like that one that you go, okay, this is the way. You can use it as a discussion prompt. A roll-in story. If you have 9 students, one student picks up a cube and then a different cube, and the story continues, and you go around the classroom that way, and they verbally tell it, and then you could go back and get them to write it. You could use the story prompts, so something that I created. Story prompt you can download here. Let's see if it opens up. Let me share this instead. And so you can see here, whoa, zoom out a little bit. Once upon a time, there was and lived in his friend, and you have to try and organize it, and you've got these sort of cohesive devices with a sort of attempt at the story, so students get to see how the story functions grammatically with those cohesive devices. Anyway, so we go on. There's action bingo, elementary guided stories, so slightly different. So, for number 6, the story prompts, so very simple. Once upon a time and lived in, blah, 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 blah. Then there's the guided story. So using all 6, or all 9 images from that. And then you use the guided story template. And you can see here sort of a function, so picture one sort of person or character. Once upon a time, there was let's say, boy. There was a boy who lived in and there's a forest for number 2. One day, the boy wanted to, and then picture number 3, number 4, etc., etc. And I tried to create a model for students so that they could see how to create the story using that sort of scene. And then it's number 10, and I need to update it because I've not really used it for a long time. But yeah, have a look at this. It would certainly help. And let me give you the link for this website. So let's have a look. So link for story cubes. If you can buy them, it would be great. So yeah, I hope that helps. Right. We've also got we've got the Grammar Detective. Good morning, Vancouver, Canada, Martin. Well, good morning. Thank you ever so much for joining today. It's lovely to have you here. So thank you ever so much. It's great for tuning in. We've got Alexandra. An advice to start with any group: you don't know anything and you're nervous more than the students. Okay, so what advice do I have? You're nervous. You're more nervous than the students. You don't know anything about the group. What do you do? Well, you could be honest. You could tell the students, I know nothing about you. I'm really nervous to try and get to know you, but I hope we can learn a bit more about each other and help each other out. So I would certainly recommend being honest with the students that you're teaching, and try to park that fear, that anxiety, put that aside. Say, right, well, I'm going to be naturally nervous, and for me, I always get nervous whenever I meet a new student. I've got no idea how they're going to respond, how I'm going to respond, what they're looking for, and whether I would suit them or whether they would suit me. And so I always feel a sense of anxiety when I meet new students for the first time. But I kind of swallow that. And I go, right, well, yes, I'm going to be a bit nervous, but I've been doing this for a number of years, 17 years as a teacher, and this is, the thousandth time I've got to know new students. So whatever happens will be just like the previous 100,000 times that I've done this before. So it's natural to be nervous. Um, but remember that you're the best person for that, to introduce and to get to know new students. And I suppose there's different activities and tasks for first lessons. You could look at considering introducing um, uh, yourself. You could present yourself and then get students to have a quiz. So you could prepare a script and introduce yourself and say, right, I'm going to have a true or false quiz based on what I told you. And you're going to try and vote on Kahoot. Is it true or is it false? Or you don't even need to tell them. They have to try and guess, is it true or false? And maybe that would be quite interesting and it will generate more conversation. So you could have a sort of a 20-question quiz, true or false quiz for students. They go and you say, right, these are all based on me. So you're going to find out a bit more about me, but you don't know. You're going to guess based on who I am. And then at the end of it, you've got to ask me, and one student has to ask me one question. Okay, maybe that would be a bit more engaging. And then you have your true or false quiz, and try and include something which is unexpected, unpredictable, and then it will generate conversation. I think that would be a lot better. Or you could do the two true, one false, and the students have to guess which is true, which is false. Which is a common one which I was introduced to when I first done my CELTA course back in, 2007. And I've stuck with it because it's a really interesting one. I try and choose things which students don't expect or anticipate. And that sort of thing. So, yes. Right. We've got someone from Japan. I'm glad you look very well from Japan. Oh, thank you ever so much for tuning in from Japan. It's really nice to have you here. Yeah, I've been, well, trying to lose a bit of weight and hopefully, I just got back from a 2-hour walk, hike. And dived onto the live stream with a minute to spare or so. So hopefully, yeah, that I'm looking a bit healthier, but we'll see. Getting there. Right. Bear with me. Hello, fellow tutors. Unfortunately, I can't watch the live stream now. I'll watch the replay later. Take care. No problem, Martha. It's nice to have you join us. Really appreciate you tuning in. It's great. Right, we've got the Grammar Detective. Have you tried any of Zoom's new integrated apps? Are any of them useful? To be honest, no, I've not tried Zoom's integrated apps that much, apart from the sort of background, the background that you can have that kind of is superimposed behind you. Normally, you would need a green screen, but nowadays you don't need that. It kind of is superimposed behind you. And you can, I've kind of used that, I suppose, with students when it comes down to getting a setting or a scene right. So in the restaurant, and you get a sort of background for the restaurant, or at the hotel, and you get a hotel background behind you. That's what I've used before. But other than that, that's about it. I've found that useful. But I'd be curious about the new integrated apps. I think I'll be using Zoom in the coming months with my course for the summer, and it'd be quite interesting to review having used Zoom for the last what is it now? 3 years or so? Yeah, gosh. Yeah. Oh well. Uh, Alexandra, thank you so much. You're very welcome. If you're teaching a new course, Alexandra, I'm sure it will go well. You can do it. Yeah, you can do it. I'm inspired. Well, I hope I I hope you find my ramblings useful or interesting. It's great to have you join us, and I really appreciate you joining from wherever you are. And I hope you find some sense of inspiration here. Anyway, um, so what have we spoken about? We've spoken about reading. We've spoken about the Celtic course. Done story cubes. Yeah, and we've looked at your questions. If you've got any questions for the time being, please put your comments down below, your questions below. I'll be happy to respond. But whilst we're here, let's close that. Whilst we're here, in less than a week now, I'll be introducing the new community, which is available. That would be available, will have been available from the 1st of June. So in a few days' time. And if it's something of interest, it would be great for you to join me on this new community for ELT experiences. I've decided to create a community because so many people have reached out, and I've spent time with individuals one to one, just sitting down with them, chatting to them, helping them with their online teaching and developing their profile and getting their first students. And I thought I want to try and provide this for others as well. And I'll be creating a community for the, like I said, on the 1st of June. It's available now if you want to join early. And I hope to include a variety of webinars twice a month, or every fortnight, where you can talk to me and we can interact with each other. You can see me, I can see you, and it will be based on a Google, what is it? A Google Meet, and hopefully it will be of interest. And there's a small fee, but the small fee goes towards the time that you have with me. If there's if you're creating your own profile for online teaching, or you're developing your own website and you want my feedback based on my experience and my ideas of running a website and getting private students, then it would be great for you to join this small community. And if I can get it up, you'll see. Let's see. Mm, 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 mm. Yes. And bring it
Well,
up.
quite a
There we go.
different video
And
than
so
my
this
usual videos.
community,
Today I
let me
wanted
see
to
if I can
just
stop the video
share
because
with
it's
you.
playing away. There we go. As you can see, the community is, $4.99 a month. You get a variety of different badges, and it goes from one to the other based on how long you've joined. We could have member only live streams. We'll have member only areas where you can join me, and you can join our little community. That would be great. And it would be great for you to spend time with me, and I'll be really keen to help you with with your development as an online teacher. And I really want to try and connect with you as you are at the moment, as you will, and have been on this live stream, whether it's through uh, YouTube or Facebook or what have you, and it would be great. Oh, Catherine, you've joined. Oh my days. Oh, thank you ever so much. We've got Catherine. You're my first one. Oh dear. Well, thank you ever so much. That's really touching. I appreciate that. Because I really want to try and help other tutors, whether they're teaching online or face to face, and it would be great to um, have you and for others to join. And I'll be posting links to Google Meets for members only. So if you want to join me for a Google Meet, and we'll have polls and that sort of thing, it would be great to have you join. And yeah, thank you, Catherine. I really appreciate it. It's really nice. Oh dear, I'm touched. Thank you. Anyway, Latifa says, thank you so much. It was a great session. You're very welcome. For those that want to join, you can either click on the YouTube join button if you're on YouTube. But if you're not, if you're on Facebook or other platforms, then you can join. And I've shared the link in the chat. Yeah. Yeah, Latifa, thank you ever so much for your questions. It's great to receive many questions, and someone who's tuned in from LinkedIn. So it's great to have someone from LinkedIn, and we've got YouTube, and we've got Facebook. It's great. I was going to anyway. Your video on doing a trial lesson on Preply really helped me. That's great. I really appreciate your support, Catherine. I really appreciate it. And, it's great to have you as a member. I really, really appreciate that. Certainly do. And wow. And I really want to build this community up so that we can all help each other. And hopefully these sort of fortnightly webinars together, we can share our ideas and choose a topic to focus on and look at case studies together and help grow online teaching or face-to-face teaching and make it more professionalize it a little bit and help each other out. But thank you, Catherine. I really appreciate your support, and it makes this so much more worthwhile. Thank you. I'm really touched. Anyway, if you've got any questions, again, I'll still be doing these live streams each week, and on top of the member only sort of meetups, online meetups. So if you don't want to, you're not obliged to join the community, but you can still experience a bit more within our community, and hopefully share a variety of things and share experiences and that side of things. And after the 1st of June, so I've got my calendar here. After the 1st of June, which is a Thursday, I think I will be holding my first members only meetup. And again, I'll be sharing a link to our small little Google Classroom or Google Community to members. So keep an eye on the community posts, those that are members. I will be sharing the Google Meet community and the link to the Google Meet, I guess for the 8th, possibly the 7th or 8th of June. And we can decide what sort of topic you want to talk about or what sort of things to focus on within that Google Meet. and it would be great. But anyway, thank you ever so much. Right, we've got less than 10 minutes remaining. It's already gone by so quick. Be great to answer one or two, a few more questions that are remaining. So any questions that you got, please feel free to quiz me away. Wow. Oh, I wish I had my phone. It's charging in the kitchen. I wanted to take a quick photo of my first member. I really can't believe it. Got my first member. That's brilliant. Oh, wow. Anyway, where are we? If you don't mind me saying, 8th of June is better. What day is the 8th of June? I guess that's a Thursday. So Thursdays are better. So if anyone else wants to join the first ever ELT Experiences community meetup, where we can discuss all things related to English language teaching for a very small fee of $4.99 a month. I'm a terrible salesman. If you really, if you want to join, don't feel obliged to, but it would be great for you to join. I'm going to set it up as the 8th of June, Catherine, because you're the first member. Okay, the first ELT experiences meetup. And hopefully we can get some more members going. If you want to join after this live stream, please feel free to join. It'd be great to have you, and it'd be great to see you face to face on the on Google Meet. And I'll be sharing more information on the community for members only. No, or I could open it up for everyone actually, but you'll need to join to meet up on our little community. Thank you. I've taken a photo. I'll send it to you somehow. Oh, you're very welcome. It'd be great to have you send that photo. I'll share it on the community. I'll try and clip it as well. Latifa says, how do I become a member? Latifa, what I'll do is, I think I did post something on LinkedIn. But essentially, what you need to do is type in youtube.com/ELT experiences/join. I'll post something on the comments of LinkedIn. Actually, let's see if I can do that now, because I know StreamYard doesn't kind of connect comments in very well. So one moment. Anyway. Let me see if I can share the link. I can see your comment already. One moment. Here we are. I'll type it in LinkedIn. There we go. And I'll put it into the community there. So I put it in LinkedIn, and I hope you're able to join. It'd be great to have you, Latifa, and it'd be great for others to join as well. And it would be great to build up our little community. And the sort of support that you provide will go towards reinvest in this channel, because I've got things to consider. I've got my main light in here is through the natural light, but it'd be great to get light in and invest in new equipment. I've got a small camera here where I make my own videos and shoot videos and put that on a tripod and film it here, for example, with the natural light coming to me. And it would be so nice to reinvest in the channel and also support others, so that there's an opportunity for you to to really guide this channel and get it through and make it quite a success. And it would be great to have you join as well. But anyway, um, I'm gonna. Well, I've got a lesson in a couple of minutes. I've got 1 hour lesson, and then I've got to drive for a couple of hours. Whew. But it's been great to have so many people join from all over the world. Really, it's great to see. Here it is. Here's the link if you want to join our little community. It'll be great to have you, and I'll be sharing more on YouTube as well as on LinkedIn and Facebook. So keep an eye out. But again, thank you ever so much for everybody tuning in. It's been great to have so many people join today. It's been fascinating, and I really appreciate everybody's support so far. I've got quite a lot to share in the coming weeks, possibly. There's definitely a few videos that are in the pipeline, particularly in terms of what's happening with me, but I'm not going to reveal anything just yet, but quite a lot to consider. So I appreciate everybody's support and everything else like that. Thank you for the live stream. You're very welcome. Thank you ever so much. I really appreciate your support, Catherine. It's great to have you. Alexandra, thank you for the live stream. You're very welcome. I appreciate your support as well and your questions. It was great to have you on board today. So I'm going to call it a day. I hope you have a wonderful weekend wherever you are, whether you're in South America or the Maldives or the UK, nice sunny Eastbourne where I am, or Canada and that sort of thing. So I'm going to call it a day tonight. I'm going to call it a day tonight. No, I'm going to call it a day now. I've not finished the day just yet. There's a few things to do. Like I said, I've got a lesson in just less than a minute. So I've got to switch from here to teaching. So thank you ever so much. Take care. Stay safe. And I'll see you next week for a live stream, usual time, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Or I'll meet others for the community meetup, the ELT Experiences community meetup. Really appreciate it. So take care, stay safe, and happy teaching. Thank you ever so much. It's been great to have you, and see you soon. Bye-bye.